job. Remember how I told you I just couldn't bring myself to like the flowers here? Well, I think I know why now. The flowers here taste sort of staticky. I don't really like it. Since these flowers are... how to phrase it like someone in the real world? Ah, right! It's the cognition of oneself, which everyone has inside themselves. When the flavor gets staticky, like with these, that means the self is uncertain of its own cognition. Can people really not know what they are? Is everyone like that? I don't get it. This is nothing like what I've been taught. But I can't quit my studies now.
I'm quite curious about Mona's Western-style sword.
It's neat how no two people use the same weapon, despite how many of us there are. Even lately, I sometimes dream about doing fantasy things with Mona.
You mean as the beauty thief? Oh man, I had no idea what to even say when I first saw you guys.
You think I'm frightening when I fight? Well, I'm afraid you're just going to have to accept it.
But it's just so different from how you normally are. Which one's the real you?
Before we leave Mementos, I just want to draw attention to the fact that I hit the flower cap, which is pretty cool. And also, I didn't get the Mementos skit that I wanted, but I did get this one.
Kind of fiending for some ramen right about now. Maybe I'll head up Ogi Kubo when we get back.
You're gonna get fat, you know.
Ann finally claims her revenge! But anyway, welcome back to Persona 5 Royal.
What do you want to do?
Let's call it a day and see the results of our only 2 Mementos missions. Does feel a little weird that all of her mental issues just cleared up so easily, but hey, I guess it shows that our acts in Mementos can be used for more than just getting back at abusers.
Nice.
I feel like Futaba probably, just saw a bit of her own situation in that. And now this part is interesting.
Hey,
So the sister actually doesn't want to be separated from him, even though he said that he should get away from her for her own protection. Yeah, this one also was complicated, but I feel like maybe they need, you know, some kind of counseling to help them. Probably not Maruki. But in a sense, it actually makes me glad that we got to these people before Maruki did. We'll be going back into Maruki's palace today. Well, tomorrow, actually. I mean, in this part. But first, there's a few things I need to do in the real world. And now Makoto has an additional comment on that request. I guess so, but neither one of you was ever violent. But I mean, yeah, it did seem like sometimes, you know, Saya would snap and wish things were, wish things were different and that she didn't have to care for Makoto all the time. It's cool there's a bit of extra development for characters in these events. Like, you had Futaba for the first, and then you had Makoto for the second. We are getting texted so much. It wasn't going far down, it was going back up. Yeah, exactly, Arn. I mean, there were escalators. And also, Futaba's physique looks kind of fine, honestly. I mean, she doesn't look like particularly strong, but she's quite thin. And now that we have a fitness nut on our team, we're going to be hearing things like this a lot, aren't we? I mean, Ryuji probably knows this stuff too. Some people were saying they wish that Sumire and Ryuji got a showtime. Oh boy, wow, mementos and then immediately into training. Hopefully she has someone to give her a massage. Ah yeah, so Akechi first says something that makes it sound like he has concern for her well-being, and then he's like, huh, it's only because I'll think you're useless if you run out of energy. It's not like I care about you all or anything. Fucker. Okay, finally, now I can check the TV. Yeah, people don't really use the term global warming anymore since there's a lot of different kinds of climate change, but speaking of massages, I'm gonna request one now. I wonder if Maruki could actually do something about, I need to use the phone, not the bed, even though that's where we get massaged. But yeah, I kind of wonder if Maruki could actually do something about climate change with his actualization.
Hey.
And strangely, we need a massage after going to Mementos just to have enough stamina to play a video game. But then again, this is a fighting game, so it makes sense that we need to be alert. And it's the last one we need. So this should be giving a new Thieves' Den award. And I can start working on probably the maid cafe, to be honest. Just in terms of fighting game stories that I have. Also, I love this. This is one of my favorite, like, levels in these retro games. The final opponent is an old lady who is somehow the final boss. Somebody please make that as, like, a Street Fighter mod or something. But, like, I'm remembering, like, there was, like, S-ism, A-ism, and V-ism, the types of, like, super styles in Alpha. There was one where you basically just mash buttons, and it creates your own combo. Okay, quarter circle forward. Why am I suddenly not good at this? There you go. Gotta do it kind of fast. Oh, right. Oh, there we go. It's half circle back, then forward, then X. There we go.
Okay.
Took me a bit, but it was pretty lenient with the timing there. But yeah, like, because I didn't really know how to do a lot of the super combos, I mostly just did, like, the one that is, like, create a combo and then just mash buttons for it in Street Fighter Alpha. It was, like, the only Street Fighter game that I could rent from Blockbuster, and I just wanted to play at least one. So I did. Of them, I enjoyed Alpha 3 the most. I think partly because that one had Guile playable as well as Charlie. They also had Cody, and Cody's, like, was my favorite Street Fighter character to play as. Not really sure why, but like he just had kind of he had simple to use moves, some kind of fun gimmicks to him, and I just thought the idea of like a prisoner who fights in handcuffs specifically because he's holding back, it was just kind of a cool character concept. And then in Street Fighter like 5, he's no longer a prisoner and he's the mayor. Oh no. Oh boy, this class question aged badly, considering that this game came out in the West in 2020, which in a sense was kind of a boon for it. I remember a lot of people played it alongside Animal Crossing New Leaf back then. I was recording Persona 4 at the time, which was kind of interesting. Oh right, I was gonna say Pokerus, which is not even in the latest Pokemon generation. And yes, this is not creepy or related to the third semester at all.
You.
How far does happiness spread like a disease? And this is one of those that, seeing this in a guide out of context, it always looks weird. To friends of friends of friends.
This is it. Well done.
Do you really believe that, or are you just saying that because Maruki's, like, unconsciously puppeteering you to say that? I wonder if the people in this world are going to become mouthpieces for Maruki's philosophy eventually. I mean, some of them already are. Though it does feel like Mr. Hiruta doesn't really change that much in the third semester. Yeah, especially since, you know, he's saying this. Because Maruki would immediately stamp out this kind of mentality if he noticed it. But yeah, he brings up a good point that, you know, it's like how some settings say, like, you know, good cannot exist without evil. It's like, yeah, in a way, happiness can't exist without unhappiness. Exactly a week left. Wrong arcade. Akihabara arcade is what I need, and what the heck is this?
Wow.
Jagao, which looks like a giraffe. Well, can't Jagao mean, like, evil face? Maybe, because I know Kao is face, and, like, Ja is evil. And there we go, got it first try. As I've said, I'm pretty sure these can still fail in Maruki's reality.
Nice going.
I don't think I've displayed the Buchimaru-kun doll either. Also, something that I've forgotten to do a lot of other times I've gone to a dungeon is to get a reading from Chihaya before going in. Oh wait, there's a good reason for it. She's not out during the cold. The cables look pretty retracted to me when I saw the mementos, though. We should be fine. Though, you know, going into palaces is never safe. Yeah, or even the homeless guy. I like it when you talk to the NPCs and you realize that slowly more and more of them are falling under Maruki's thrall, I suppose you should say. But, actually, I haven't shown a whole meeting yet for this palace, have I?
Very well. Let us begin the meeting.
True, it's kind of our last big job. Okay, so we are the right level for the shadows. Good.
All right. Our meeting will end here.
I think that's the first time I've really shown
Very well.
holding a meeting
Let us go.
when you've progressed through the palace. Generally, that feature's there for if you're doing palaces over multiple days, which is probably how you're meant to do things. I just noticed those, like, cameras are in rings around the tower, and they're all kind of rotating around it.
Going? Okay, sure. Let's roll.
But as, yeah, random enemies say, we go it or what? Okay, let's see. I think I'm fine with this setup. I'm gonna see, like, what enemies we encounter first, but before that, I want to make sure, yes, I am on Volcamana, and let's go to the monitoring prep room. Firstly, I want to check here, even though this is a terrible place to hold a meeting, but I want to see if there's any new dialogue here. Also, I believe Futaba is still in the Raido outfit.
What are your thoughts?
Wow, that was brief.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
I got to Sumire and I was like, oh yeah, that's the end of the party, right, for changing the costumes, but then I realized, yeah, Futaba's after that. But now the moment of truth. Have the tentacle cables gone? Indeed they have. As Haru was saying.
Indeed.
Let's move out.
Yes.
Let's see even more of Maruki's mental landscape. Happiness, health, and yet more brains in hands in jars. Okay, that shadow is still yellow despite the fact that Futaba told us we were pretty OP. So that's worrying already. Well, let's see what you are. That is new. I don't have lower yet, but I also can't recruit exploding shadows, so that's a problem. We do have Decadent False God.
We're evenly matched here. Just don't let your guard down.
Okay, Decadent False God. I know that we fought you back in
Ravage them!
Futaba's Palace as a Will Seed boss. Because I seem to remember that it drains a lot of things. In that case, let's go for... Dorman is still putting in work this late, except it's immune to that. Are you immune to all ailments? It looks like you probably are. He is weak to that though, and I don't even need well, I actually do need Yoshida's power to make it join my cause, but I didn't even need Yoshida's rank 10. I'm high enough level to recruit it. There we go, Alilard. I forgot it was weak to Curse, but there we go. I believe that is the last enemy in here that's weak to Curse, and that is another reason why Akechi's kind of eh. Yeah, let's just dump, Melchizedek, I suppose? I gotta make sure that I don't accidentally dump Raul, because he's kind of low in my persona list. Because them being weak to Curse means that I can go ham with Raul against them. But yeah, we have these rooms. Now, there are actually some optional things that you can read in here, but comments have told me not to forget. So don't worry, I'm going to be a more Ardanian, and I'm not going to think, well, they actually request that other people don't forget them, but oh well. Yeah, let's Makovo and everything. It's interesting how rarely I have to cut out random battles because they're so fast in this game. There we go, they're all down. I could also show off Maria's hilarious HP regeneration. I'll probably do that at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, this right here. February 2nd. Tomorrow is Rumi's birthday. I'll be meeting her parents. My hands have been shaking an awful lot lately. Will they let their daughter marry a low-level researcher like me? Now I'm getting even more anxious. When I told Rumi how nervous I'm getting, she just laughed and said I think too much. She may not have understood my problem, but I do so love her laugh. I don't think I'll be able to sleep with my nerves like this, but I need to lie down anyway. I've been getting the worst headaches lately. I might be pushing myself too hard for this thesis. I just really want to be in top form tomorrow. I know this diary was originally just for research notes, but now I hope I can look back at it with Rumi someday and feel nostalgic. Yeah, it's pretty clear this is Maruki's diary, unless Maruki knew any other low-level researchers. And Maruki's old friend from college did mention something about a love life and a possible girlfriend that Maruki had in the past, but the way that he talked about it, it seemed like things didn't end well. So, I guess we'll see how things keep going. But yeah, I believe those are optional, many of those, but they provide a little bit. I wish more of the palaces had things like that. Oh wow, you're new. Hi there, Baal, aka Reviled Dictator. Guess that's more the demonization of, Kanan that's saying that. Let's try and recruit it.
It looks so peppy, doesn't it? Don't get too serious or you'll kill the mood.
A reviled dictator is peppy. Okay, then. What if I was a human? Then what you're doing, well, it'd be a criminal act. That's true. Can't be true. That's irrelevant. Yeah, I'm not sure which of these would be considered joking. Yeah, I didn't think that would be right. I don't hate you. No, I don't feel that way at all. Is that so? Too late? Yeah, well, this one's the obvious joke answer here. As always, I like to recruit one of everything that I see just so that I have their, like full elemental affinities. And also so I have them in the Persona Compendium. Baal is interesting because... I can probably get rid of Thor. Because he has a unique move. It's a physical attack that hits multiple times with a decent amount of power, and I think it's got a decent crit rate as well. Could be wrong about that. But yeah, this thing right here, this thing says, are you happy every day? Hi? Left and yeah, no. for rights. Here, this basically says, like, good! Yeah, yoku dekimashita, well done! And then it says, please take care of your hearts. But if you go this way and say you're not happy every day, I believe that says try again. And then this here says, yeah, make sure to protect your heart. Yes, prisoner, lying in bed, fetal position, falling over. Yeah.
I can see it.
This is actually just leads me to something. So, like, obviously, like, I'm not a trained psychologist at all, but aha, got necessity was getting creepy, so I didn't have to see that for that long. Oh, also, Belial's back. But yeah, so, what do I do here first? I know that those things are weak to nuclear, and I do, oh, you're immune to physical anyway. Don't think I have anything gun-related, so I may as well... Oh, actually, you guys are weak to ice, too. I wonder if I can freeze Belial. He's, unfortunately, a little unimpressed by that. And I don't think he's particularly impressed by much else that we have, although I can muck a jam at him in the face. There we go, good. How do I my gone again? And now I can use one of those psi items. See, I told you that getting those is good. But just to stop my tangent for a second here, though, I do want to mention Belial showing up and me talking about using ice on it. This just leads me to something that I've actually wanted to do wanted to talk about for a really long time. I've saved this tangent until Maruki's Palace because it's about Belial, and I know that Belial shows up here. So, regarding Belial, I last year played Devil Survivor 1 for the first time, and Belial is a major boss in that game, and I'd heard that a lot of people had trouble with Belial and considered him like that one boss. The thing is, when I actually got to that point, I found Belial surprisingly not that hard, but there was a good reason for that. The reason was, and it's probably because, unless you're on the route where a certain character that you need for him to spawn is dead, which locks you out of certain things, but I don't want to say more because that would kind of technically be spoilers. Unless you're on a particular route, essentially, I can try out Odin Frontier here, also skillful technique, nice. I was expecting high numbers from that damage. But because it's a required fight, if he's gonna spawn, the story kind of spends way too much time hammering into the player that you're going to be dealing with a powerful demon very soon that uses a lot of fire attacks. Because the story basically just goes, oh, like, so many like NPCs and other characters will just spend so long saying, Joker. Oh no, you better watch out for Belial, he uses fire. Did you know that in the Bible, Belial destroyed 2 cities with fire? And then in the actual fight, the NPC you're trying to protect on the first turn immediately says, oh no, watch out, this guy uses fire. It's like, I get what they're doing for like new players. I understand that, and I really hope I'm not sounding too much like an elitist for like saying this. But like, they spend so much time pretty much screaming at the player, get fire-resistant demons, get fire-resistant skills on your characters, and get ice demons. And I did, and Belial went down like an absolute chump, because he doesn't have any way to pierce on his fire attacks, so if you null fire, he just gets completely wrecked. It's admittedly kind of true of a lot of Shin Megami Tensei bosses, though. It's like, if you know what they do and have a counterplan for it, they tend to get wrecked, but if you don't, you get wrecked. So basically, this guy is doing one of those online things of like password recovery questions. We need information about Maruki's life, and fortunately, we're inside his own mind. So yeah, what better place to find information on Maruki than in here? Firstly, though, that door's locked. Got a little bit of non-linear exploration here to go through. But with that, I can actually go back to what I was... Oh, wow, you can see me from that far. I mean, you are a Lovecraftian abomination, so it kind of does make sense. Actually, no. Instead, you decided to not exist anymore. April 6th. April 9th. I wrote that upside down. I just can't believe what's happened. I'll never see Rumi's parents again. I don't even know if Rumi will ever come back to me. Her heart's been completely closed off ever since that day. Why did this happen? What did Rumi do to deserve this? Do we really have to just go on suffering these consequences? My headaches are getting worse. I'm even starting to hear things. Am I having some kind of breakdown? I can't lose it. I have to do something to help Rumi, no matter what it takes. So already we see that Maruki, as you could probably tell, Maruki has a bit of a tragic backstory. Also, there's a VHS tape here. You can also crawl through this crawl space here. That enemy just respawned, but I'm kind of okay leaving it alone for now. I love this room, although
Hey, that's a treasure chest. It's fun.
it's a little scary to me that, like, the bottom area is so full of tentacle cords that you can't even step on it. However, as we can see there,
A will seed.
there is a will seed too.
Oh,
Some panels over here just remind me of Okumura's palace. Again, like sci-fi aesthetics, you don't really see all that often in JRPGs. Infini Saber.
Thank you.
Suppose I can give that to Akechi. Akechi actually thanked us, that's incredible. But what does that do? Low despair. Well, of course he'd be thanking us for a weapon like that. He definitely wants his enemies to feel that despair, but let's check out this will seed. Red Sorrow Seed.
so this is a will seed. It's kinda creepy, huh?
Yeah, this would be her first will seed. And yeah, it's this, I don't know, we're kind of already past the halfway point of the palace, and we're only just starting to get the will seeds, but sorrow, huh? This is actually something that I believe did appear in, like, the list of, like, Latin sins in one of the early trailers, because another one is, like, Calvum, which means emptiness, which people say is Akechi's sin, even though he officially isn't a palace ruler. But Maruki's sin being sorrow is interesting, because, like, a lot of, like, you might say, like, wait, how is sorrow a sin? Isn't, like, that, you know, a bad thing? Like, that's kind of, you know, saying sorrow is a sin is kind of like what Maruki's doing right now. It's like he's saying,
So let's use an emotional. These skills won't do anything.
yeah, it's like, Maruki's saying, yeah, that, being sad is a bad thing. That sounds so cool.
Gotcha now.
And also, yeah, the DLC personas all have unique dialogue for using their, or give Joker unique dialogue for using their exclusive skills. But okay then, let's, yeah, I'll labor team you and then I'll baton pass to Yusuke. And yeah, like Maruki's saying being sad is a bad thing and you must be happy all the time. So, sorrow ties into an older sin called despair, and again, it doesn't mean really being sad, but it means more essentially giving up on, like, the world and your own problems. It means looking at everything and just despairing instead of trying to change things.
You did great, Noir.
It was an older form of what later became the deadly sin of sloth, and it's kind of fitting that Maruki is a variant of sloth, given that he seems to have inherited Yaldabaoth's role, who's also basically sloth.
Child's play.
So, yeah, it's interesting how they're putting different spins on the sins, while still following that theming. And yeah, that looks kind of terrifying, but I need to get rid of the enemies from these corridors before I can start showing off what Maruki thinks about happy and unhappy people here.
Treasure demon in sight. Let's get it.
Don't think I've heard Futaba say that before. But everything here is weak to bless. Okay then.
Looking good. Should defeat 2 enemies.
No, checkmate is Makoto's skill. Yeah, let's grab this though, because that could be semi-useful for fusions. Sometimes I find like the higher level treasure demons like aren't all that necessary because they're kind of overkill, and like usually they just like by the time like you're at this point in the game, your personas are like in the level 80s to 90s, and at that point, treasure demons generally just push them to the point where they kind of wrap back around to low levels. I think that can happen. Oh, hi there. Let's just do that. Yeah, Mental Health Awareness Week. Here we go. Yeah, this says, yeah, I believe this is also, are you happy every day? And then here is like, yay, look, you're happy and healthy. And here it's like, you're this emaciated, depressed zombie husk and stuff. So what I was getting at with the first, like, thing I was talking about regarding Maruki, earlier in this video, is that Maruki suffers from something that psychologists call black and white thinking. And it doesn't exactly, like, it doesn't necessarily have to do with, like, you know, the concept of black and white morality. It sort of means the idea of thinking of certain things as either 100% good or 100% bad. So, in this case, with Maruki, he has a very black and white attitude towards suffering and sadness. To him, any kind of hardship, any kind of suffering or sadness, that's bad and needs to go. You have to be happy all the time. Any unhappiness is unacceptable because unhappiness causes pain and suffering and depression, and that's bad. So therefore, sadness itself is bad. And there's no, there's no other potential nuance to that. I kind of feel like Maruki would benefit from seeing Inside Out, I guess. Which, the whole point of that movie is that, you know, sadness has a purpose, and trying to force yourself to be happy all the time is not healthy. But yeah, black and white thinking is something that I know of because I actually am kind of susceptible to it at times. It's sort of also like partly sort of a part of my OCD as well. It's like a kind of a heightened sense of like, I don't know, self-preservation and just thinking that certain things are like, oh, I have to avoid this because this is always going to cause me pain and stress and anxiety, and, you know, sometimes things that cause you some hardship are still good. Like, that's one thing that Maruki needs to realize, and something that there's no real room for in Maruki's reality. Like that student who, it's like, nope, he was always doing archery now because he tried, yeah, this room looks special, but can't quite get in there yet. He tried painting, and he wasn't successful, and therefore painting as a career path will only cause him pain, so I'm gonna make it so that he instead is entirely focused on a completely different hobby. Like, it sort of reminds me a little bit, like, I get stressed with, you know, making these videos sometimes. Oh, you are weak to fire, of course, yeah. So, in that case, if I... We established earlier that you're immune to that, so I guess I... Oh, I can try and Muda on you, but no, I want to instead go for Raoul's, double boost and Eiga on. Didn't really do a lot, but this thing is almost a mini-boss tier enemy anyway. But yeah, sometimes I get stressed out with like making videos and things like that, and especially since like, you know, somewhat recently I've become a bit more cognizant of the way like the YouTube algorithm works, and I don't like it, and it just definitely causes me a lot of stress and anxiety and frustration just thinking about it. I really want to just keep doing what I've always done. I don't want to, you know, think too hard about it really and get too caught up in stuff. Because again, this is a hobby for me. I'm not doing this to make money. And we established earlier, but we established right now that you're an idiot. But like my point is that, yeah, not like sometimes I do get stressed out and frustrated by this, but does that mean I should stop doing this entirely? Because that's probably what Maruki would say. And yeah, I don't think that's healthy at all. Okay, you at least block that, not drain. Well, clearly you got frustrated. And I'm sorry, we've seen that quote from you too many times, let's just skip it. In fact, that actually leads me to something else that I need to say. So that Showtime attack, where it says Prodigal Sons, actually no, not Prodigal Sons. Another one of those banners that says two sides, same coin. It's kind of a thing about Akechi and Joker that I personally don't actually agree with, but it's something that the game says at least, so I guess it's canon. I guess I can put Arn back in the party now that I know that Alilat is weak to that, and also now I know that mental ailments won't really work. Haru was more there for the Belials and those other enemies. But, so yeah, what I was saying was, a slight pause, I knew that was going to be this. That's a full heal now, but I don't think the animation is any different besides the fact that it's her new persona now. But yeah, what I was actually saying was that in the Japanese version, that actually said two sides, some coin. And it was corrected in the English translation. I'm just equipping those ultimate weapons that I gave people. Yeah, I forgot to equip all of these stat boosting things now. I guess I can show off the stats here and show what they do. So yeah, we've got a bit of a stat buff on him there. Yusuke's strength is now completely ludicrous. And Akechi has a slight boost to everything. Especially when you consider that those boosts are in fact double. This reminds me of Persona 3's surveillance room. But yeah, in the new ports of Royal, though, they forgot to implement the English version's correction, so they are back to saying two sides, some coin.
Oh, very generous.
You can't tell when my jaw is dropping right now. All this time, and I finally get a skill card drop. You better believe I'll take you can do better than that. Let's go, let's grab these. So, as I have been showing for like all of the enemies on screen the first time they appear, every shadow has its own skill card, and most of them can only be attained through negotiation. Yeah, there's a signature move there. Yeah, every shadow has its own skill card, and yeah, again, some of them can only be obtained through negotiation. Like, the main thing is that the single target rage skill card can only be obtained via negotiation with Papa Tengu. And there's a couple of others that are like that too. I once wanted to try a no Velvet Room playthrough of this game, and in order to do that, I'd probably need to negotiate for skill cards at times. I just always thought that'd be fun to do. Aha, there we go. Finally froze. And yes, Arn indeed did shatter at one strike. Being shattered by a whip would be kind of painful, though. Oh, no more level ups out of that.
Focus.
And nothing spawned back, but I want to check to see if there's... Doesn't look like there's a document in this room, so let's crawl through here, and now we can get on the other side of that locked door. But this room does look a little different to the others. It's not quite as clean, and it looks like it's from the past.
What's up with this room?
The entire palace has been rather bizarre, but this room is rather strange in its own way.
CRT TV, huh? Talk about old school.
Talk about making me feel old.
Look, it's even got a built-in VCR.
Maybe we've got to watch some TV first?
Or he wants us to play some retro games, because, you know, those actually work better on a CRT TV.
I highly doubt that.
Actually, there's a chance he's right. There appears to be a tape by the VCR.
Well, it appears we don't have any choice but to watch the tape, do we?
Let's just hope it's not one of those cursed ones.
Of course, it could possibly just be a trap.
Nothing's happening.
It's making some strange noises. Could it be broken?
No, that's just how VCRs normally work.
Do you think we should try whacking it?
I love how she was the first to suggest that.
Please don't.
Oh, it's playing. Stay on guard, everyone.
How are you feeling today, Rumi? Sorry I came empty-handed. I've just been so busy with the research lately. I haven't had the chance to pick up any part-time work. I know. I'll buy you flowers the next time I come. Do you remember that wildflower field we used to go to back in high school? You really loved it there, didn't you? Oh, would you prefer if I brought you some snacks instead? Which should I bring? Sweet or salty? I know you like both, so... Actually, I have some news for you today. So first, I've finished my paper. The other thing is... they caught the culprit. He's in police custody now. You don't need to worry anymore. Of course, that doesn't mean everything's over and done with, but things are going to proceed as they ought to. My cognitive science is the study of people's hearts and how they guide people's views of the world. Everyone comprehends the world in a different way, depending on their cognition. So basically, if one could tap into a person's cognitive world, one would even be able to alter how that person views reality in every way. That's what my paper's all about. Here I am, going way over your head with this stuff, just like always. But anyway, I've recently met someone who thinks my research could be fruitful. If everything moves forward as planned, they may even fund my work. At that point, I'd be the first professional scientist in the world. My goal is to find a way to stop crime by putting my research into action. Many of the criminals in this world are deluded to the point of seeing everything through a distorted lens. If I could change their cognitions, it would stop them from committing crimes before they even considered them. And if I were to succeed, the things that happened to you would never happen to anyone else again. I want to save you. No, not just you. I want to save the whole world with my cognitive science. Well, at least I know your family would appreciate it. Rumi, it's me. Are you alright? Can you talk?
Family. My family. Dad. Mom. No. Please. Please don't go. Ah!
Rumi, it's okay. Calm down.
Give them back! Give me my mom and dad!
You want power?
These migraines are... Damn it! Don't worry, someone's coming to help.
I believe it was most likely a post-traumatic episode. Memories of the incident must have resurfaced due to some sort of stimuli, like certain imagery or phrasing.
Phrasing? I'm so sorry, Rumi. It's all my fault. Deep down, I knew I could end all crime across the world. It still wouldn't bring your family back. What you truly need is to be set free from that horrible tragedy. But how can I do that?
Must
What was that?
Doctor, please, stop this. I want to forget.
Forget? I wish I could do something to... Oh, but wait. By altering a subject's cognition, by changing their heart, any related trauma is eliminated.
You must seek me.
So, by that logic, all that pain, Rumi's trauma and everyone else's, it can be undone.
Seek me. I am that who manifests thoughts himself. I shall echo your blasphemous fury with reality, so that we may together change the world. Now, call me forth.
Yes, I'll do it. I don't care who you may be. Lend me your strength. Please, help me save Rumi's life. What was that? Rumi, are you okay?
Who are you?
Rumi, it's me!
I'm really sorry, but I don't know who you are.
Rumi, what do you mean?
I've just gone through surgery. Ever since I was born, I've been unwell. I lost my parents when I was young, so I live with my grandparents in the countryside now.
When you were... young? You can't. It's me, Rumi. Don't you remember me?
I really am sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I'm going to be discharged from here pretty soon, now that I've finished my last round of surgery. I can't wait to see my grandparents again, and show them how well I've recovered.
This is... Were her memories actually revised? Wait, was that voice really...
Are you alright?
That's absurd. How could something like... Oh, I mean, it's nothing. I'm just glad you're doing better now. She remembers nothing of the incident. So, for Rumi...
By the way, what are you doing in my room? How do you know my name?
Oh, well, I'm, sorry. I mistook you for someone else.
Another person?
Yeah. My girlfriend's name is Rumi too.
Really? That's so nice to hear.
Yeah.
Huh?
Looks like I really messed up finding the right room. I really am sorry to disturb you.
So I know this might sound odd, but if you'd like to meet again sometime...
Thank you for the offer, but I'm sorry. I'm going to be getting busier than ever soon, so I don't believe we'll be meeting again.
Really? But what about your girlfriend?
She's passed away. That's why I won't be coming here anymore.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I hope you feel better soon. And I know the people who care about you wish the same.
That was... Dr. Maruki, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Based on what we've seen, we can surmise that Dr. Maruki's memory was somehow on that videotape.
The way that woman was acting at the end, that's just how it went for me, too. So he rewrote her cognition.
She was the first unwitting test subject, I guess.
Considering what he was saying in the video, that might have been the moment he first awakened to his ability.
It sounded very similar to when we all first awakened.
Could Dr. Maruki possibly have wanted us to watch this memory?
I don't think that's the case. It's possible that this is just an old memory he tried to bury in his unconscious mind.
In other words, we just accessed one of his Psychonauts' mental vaults.
Still, if this actually occurred, there's no mistaking it for a trivial memory. This is clearly important to Maruki.
Whether for good or bad, it appears that this incident is what led Dr. Maruki to his current mission.
You're right.
So yes, that was the start. That was the start of all of this. We're getting a little bit more information now, but one thing that was interesting about that is Maruki first started by wanting to use cognition modification to prevent crime. And then he switched to erasing mental trauma. But now I think we should know enough to answer the following authentication question. What did he lose in exchange for the power to rewrite cognitions? Yeah.
Oh, yeah! I have something.
Oh?
Also, we have map number 2 now. Yeah, we still do have quite a way to go. This is basically
For real?
the final dungeon of this place. Also nice for real there.
Oh?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this place was called also Akechi's smiling here with the eyes closed like that. He's just like... He's just like, oh, Ryuji, you idiot.
Hell.
Yeah, let's side with him for once.
Do you have a moment?
Yeah, exactly. The question is, why does he think of this stadium as a laboratory? Maybe this is why. It's why those people were passing Sumire, or Kasumi as we knew her then, and mistook this place for a lab.
How suspicious.
Yeah, true. The Star was more of like a reception/cult area. But, okay, there we go. There is a safe room there. Firstly, though, I want to go back and check this elevator because I wasn't checking it before. And it's broken. And now we know that elevators are bust. Let's hit this safe room and call it a day. Next time, we will be progressing through the research ward. See you all then.